fishy. My Pisces. Thank you for tuning in. This is my first read for you. Welcome to Empress Energy 333. Now, I've been reading tarot for a minute, but this is my first go at becoming part of this lovely YouTube tarot community. I have my favorites, and I'm sure you have yours. And I hope I become one of them. I thank you for tuning in. I hope this reading resonates with you. I urge you to hit like and subscribe so that other Pisces can find this reading. I will say that this is a general reading for all my Pisces, so everything might not resonate for you. You know the spiel. If you don't, here it is. I would urge you, if you want a more specific reading, to consult a tarot reader to give you a personal read, and that way they could tap in directly to your energy and give you a read that's specific for your situation in your life. I'm not doing personal reads at this time, although I plan to in the future, but I would urge you to not try to pigeonhole the message. If it's something that doesn't fit you, like for instance, if I'm mentioning kids and stuff and you don't have kids, don't want nothing to do with kids, that's not your part of the read. That's for the person that does, and vice versa. If you're not looking for love right now or pursuing anything or want to be in love, the lovey-dovey things that might come out, again, not for you. You don't have to take it, right? I would urge you also not to, the disclaimers you always hear. The tarot is for entertainment. So I'm here to give you just general guidance, and free will is always at play. So take it or leave it. But I would urge you not to rely on these things solely for like legal advice, health advice, medical stuff, or whatever, okay? Keep it airy and light. And with that, I'm going to draw your 9 cards. Now, my style of doing tarot, number one, I read upright because the cards are going to tell the story. Whether, it's the inverse, which is usually when you pull a card in the reverse, it means that it's sort of the opposite extreme of the original meaning of that card. But I figure the way the cards flow and the card that comes out after is going to tell the story of the card previous to it. So I pull 9 cards. And then if you want me to clarify further, I invite you to watch the extended read, which will be made available to you with the link in the comments. Okay? So, this is what we pulled for you, my dear Pisces. We start out with the Judgment card, 8 of Pentacles, Page of Swords, 7 of Swords, 7 of Wands. You got the Fool, the Page of Wands, the Hermit, and the Death card. Don't be scared. We'll talk about it. So the Judgment card, always a reminder to trust your own judgment. It's also a card of forgiveness. Do you got somebody in your life right now and you're just struggling to, forgive them for something? The Judgment card sometimes is a call to action to just forgive and move on. And forgive does not mean put up with the same crap over and over again. Forgive just means, you're not letting whatever that situation is take up space rent-free in your mind. You're ready to move on. I'm wondering how many of you have entrepreneurial endeavors, because for me, the 8 of Pentacles, that's my entrepreneur card. This guy appears to be casting his own pentacles. He's not waiting to get 1 or 2 pentacles, at the end of 2 weeks. It actually looks like he's casting his own currency, In any case, he's building his own legacy. He's putting in the work. This card is a card of persistence and hard work. And look how many pentacles he's already built with more to come, So he's focused. His energies are focused. He's deliberate in what he's doing. And the dude is hard at work. Page of Swords. Now, pages always indicate something new. Pages are communicators. They're always coming to tell us of something. Sometimes they're coming to warn us of something. So, the communication is what I always think of with regards to pages. And they bring a fresh perspective. And this is a reminder to be open to new ideas and having an eagerness to learn. So that could have something, that could be in connection with any entrepreneurial endeavors that you might have, or things in business or whatever. It's just a reminder to always be open to learning, Um, anytime I get this Seven of Swords, to me it's always just a reminder to take stock of who's around you, and do an inventory of who you let into your life, who you go into business with, who you are spending your time with. Because the Seven of Swords, unfortunately to me, this is always the liar card. Now, I'm always thankful when it comes out, because it's a signal to me to, stop, look, and listen. And I say this especially to my entrepreneurial people, because the more money you make, the higher you go, the more things there are to look out for. And I said this in the Aquarius reading just now, but I was at this keynote one time with this business owner, and he joked to the audience, once you get, over 100 employees, people think it's okay to steal. And so what he meant by that is that, once you have that level of people that are working under you, people start to get this illusion as if, money just sort of grows on trees. Things just sort of appear, and people might not even, this could be any level of thief or liar. It could be like, some conniving person that will fleece you for all your cash. But on the opposite spectrum, it could be the person that just believes, okay, we got a closet full of office supplies. Let me take some home for the kids' first day of school. It could be something like that. So it's just always something to watch out for as an entrepreneur. Interesting that it came out next to the Seven of Wands, because to me, this is the stand your ground card. This is creating boundaries for yourself and not letting people, for lack of a better word, excuse my language, but not letting people fuck you over. He's got one wand in his hand for his own defense, and it looks like he's kind of built a fortress around himself. Like, dude, don't mess with me. That being said, you drew the Fool. So the Fool is fearless. He is, it could be interpreted a number of ways, but for me, I always like to see it as a leap of faith. Now, you do have the dog nipping at his heels. I don't know if the dog is warning him that he's about to walk off a cliff or what. But I always notice that he's packing light. He's carrying a little flower. And, regardless of it's a fall off the side or what, he looks to know where he's going. Like, whatever. Just, to throw caution to the wind is what I like to say about this card. So, I feel like Spirit is saying that despite these areas of caution that it's telling you to look at, it's telling you to keep going and go toward new endeavors. Okay, things will happen. You will have setbacks or whatever. That's not to say you won't overcome the setbacks and that they won't be worth, and that life won't give you double for your trouble. Okay, that's especially for my entrepreneurial people, because next after that you got the Page of Wands. And remember, pages are always the bearers of good news, of change. And the Page of Wands, he's it's a fiery card, and he usually brings exciting news. I love that this card came out after the Fool, because the meaning of this card is like impulsiveness and having that sense of adventure, which takes a lot of courage. And I don't know an entrepreneur that's not adventurous. If you're an entrepreneur, you better be ready for an adventure. Even if you're not an entrepreneur, if you're moving up the ranks in a company, you better be ready. That being said, you also got the Hermit. And the Hermit is about going within. Maybe putting yourself into isolation, going into solitude, and really tapping into your inner wisdom. And that is something that you will definitely need if you are setting out to do entrepreneurial endeavors. So that is what the Hermit means. And then lastly, you got the Death card. Now, don't be scared of the Death card, okay? The Death card can mean the end of a cycle. It can mean transformation. And it can also mean you are on the cusp of some sort of rebirth. So with that being said, and with all the business center, entrepreneur, going into business for yourself vibes that I'm getting off of this read, it almost appears to say that, be ready to reinvent yourself. Be ready for a rebirth, a transformation, a release. If you haven't started your entrepreneurial venture or whatever you're doing, whatever you're on the cusp of, this death card is almost saying, take the leap, do it, get it done. So that being said, I'm going to clarify one card. And if you're interested in having all the other cards clarified and hearing me yap even further, I invite you over to purchase the extended reading where I will clarify all of the cards for you. And we'll go a little bit deeper into the reading. So I always pick a card that I'm most curious about. Sometimes it's a card that comes from left that I just, I'm not really clear on its place in the reading, or one that just seems super duper interesting to me. And for me, that's the death card. I want to see what exactly that means for you. I'm going to give these one last good shuffle, pull out whatever comes out on top. And you got the Hanged Man. So the Hanged Man always means, you're waiting in the balance, waiting to make a decision. And I always like to consult my tarot experts just to get a further meaning. So because the Hanged Man in the tarot deck, it comes right before the Death card. So you're suspended upside down. It's a time to reflect and see things from a new perspective. And it's a time of waiting, So as far as business, sometimes waiting will yield you better results. It gives you time to become more knowledgeable in something. And it also can be a reminder to delve into lessons learned for something that might have happened, that you didn't get the best results from. So always stay curious about what you can learn from that period where you're waiting in the balance, what you can be doing in the meantime until you get where you want to go. So with that, Pisces, that is your freemium. Feel free to join me over at the extended, but if this is it for us, I thank you for tuning into my channel. And again, I urge you to push like or subscribe so that other Pisces can see this reading too. Okay, take care.